So we have a big update. You can see it running behind me on the C64. And this is my small selection of recently released C64 cartridges. And there you have it, a close-up of the game. I will show you later how it runs in WinFice. So this is basically where we left the last video. I rewound a little in our version control system so that I can show you how we made progress, what got fixed because we had some bugs. So first off, the throw mechanic is like, if I stand here and release the ball, it goes diagonally to the second player. I'm controlling the third player, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed. So if I stand here, you want it to go to the red guy, to player 1. And it does. It works. However, if I now catch the ball, if I go diagonal again and I go a little bit to the back, it will throw it with less speed. To make my point, here it goes really slow. This is all great, but let me get another ball, if I can get one. Here we go. Now if I go back here, you would imagine it would still go up, but slower. Well, if I do this, this happens. It's so weird. This one is controlling player 1, and I have the same issue here. This goes well, and from here, it bounces. But Jeffrey, how did you fix that? This was a bitch to work out. But basically, I figured what happened was that when a ball normally comes in, it bounces off you. Now if you want to release the ball, it is positioned inside of you. Nothing sexual! And then you release it, and the other code that does the bouncing is like, hey, you're in the player, let's bounce. And why it works if you are farther away from the starting point and you shoot harder, the first frame the ball moves fast enough outside of the bouncing collision detection. So that's why that one worked and the slower one didn't. I spent like days on it to figure that one out. It sucks. So how did we fix this? By drinking a lot of beer. Yes, I drink a lot of beer, but no. You had to think a little. Basically, when the player has caught a ball, it will be saved in the player hold, which is down here. It's just the storage, 4 bytes, each player 1 byte. We save the ball number in player hold. Somewhere else in the code we check like, is the ball held by a player, then we should update the X and Y positions of the ball and fix it on the player so that it's really sticking on the player. If the player releases the ball, previously the hold would be overwritten with a FF value, which then releases the ball so it can do its own thing again, and then of course it bounces. I also made a player release down here, 4 bytes again, and basically when the player release is not 0, subtract 8 every time, let the ball do its thing, we just continue onward, we're not going to do any holding, but yet there's still the hold variable. So this cancels out the bouncing, because the bouncing mechanic looks at the hold and is like, oh, I shouldn't bounce, stick to the player. But the stick to the player code is like, hey, but we have a release counter, so we don't stick to the player, so the ball's free to go. And the hold is only updated when the player chooses another ball to hold, or if the release counter gets back to 0, then he can pick up the ball that was just released again. And the release counter goes down by 8, and it goes every frame. It's really fast, so it goes back to 0 in no time. But that is enough to skip ahead, just enough to not bounce on the collision detection. Hope that explains it. If not, leave a comment down below. But Jeffrey, I don't understand it. Please explain better. I don't know what I'm doing. I am sitting on the floor. Got the new package. I don't know if this is Commodore or Evercade. I've been buying a lot of stuff and everything seems to be lost in mail or something. Taking forever to come here. Yeah, I know what this is. So stupid. Why does it have to be Evercade? This is a Commodore 64 episode, for God's sake. I'll unbox this in another video, I guess. Whatever, Jeffrey. I have to set up everything to record over there. Again, it things I do for you guys. So basically with the release stuff in, we can now shoot the ball in any direction we want. You can also do it slow. It's no problem. Goes nice. Doesn't do anything crazy. Any player I release balls with is actually fine. We can do it with any player. And then later I discovered when I switched to player 1 and I catch a ball there and I release it, it does this. You see a black thing coming down in the border, which is not normal. Sucks that I can't glitch it now. There we go. But still the game works. It's amazing. It's awesome to see. Oh, they're so fast now. Got one. It's always shooting to the top. So, lovely glitch. But it really didn't make sense. Why would it only glitch out on player 1? I was thinking something with a 0 maybe. Some loop that loops too far, or spent a couple of hours on this one. But at least the solution was really easy. Yeah, here you can see it. This is the change for the fix. One simple transfer Y to A. I think that's what it stands for. At least that's what it does. And it was in the move balls. This was added. And as you can see, it was already here. And that's what the coders are relying on. Somewhere along down the line, A gets overridden, like here. And here. And then if you loop from here to next X and you do this stuff, A is something else. You need this. Otherwise this value will be wrong. So without this, it was like this. You don't know what it is pushing here. So the weird thing about it is, I don't understand why player 2, 3 and 4 were okay. Because this is obviously a really bad bug. And only player 1 was affected. This world is amazing sometimes. So with those fixes in, and a couple of minor stuff that we fixed along the way, the game is actually pretty stable. We also already didn't show it yet, but we had interaction with the shields already. When my brother updated the graphics, my brother Nick, he updated the balls to some fire thingy. And the micromages got updated to this wizard, inspired by the micromages of course, but yeah, now we have our own thing and I love it. So here we go guys, playing the most recent version of the game. Going to see if I can win against the 3 other players that are standing still. If I mess up I will still lose. We don't have crystals yet, but we can at least take care of these shields. Playing the 4th guy, the 4th player. In case you didn't notice, and I'm doing a shitty job already. Hard. Damn it. I'm my biggest enemy. Oh, I suck at this. Come on. My shield is the worst. Come on. Oh, I love it. You can already have fun with an unfinished game. Jesus. Only 20 left? 15? Oh my god. It's better if you don't play, just stand still. I need another go. Concentrating. Oh damn it, oh damn it. They're getting faster, so it's harder to, of course, protect your shield. So I lost against the opposite player. What a mess. I was doing good at the start, until the balls took off, then you're sometimes like a hazard to yourself. So yeah, can't wait till we have the crystals in, and Nick is also working on some floors. And my brother Tim, he will be the glue between us for the upcoming time to, whenever Nick finishes something, to import that in the game. And I'll work on the logic. I have to code some AI. Whew. And the score counters need to go in. And there is an energy bar thing that we are working on. So yeah, lots of stuff to come still. Please let us know in the comments what you think about this game so far. Are we doing a decent job? If part 5 is finished, YouTube will recommend it here. If not, YouTube will recommend you something else. And as always guys, thank you for subscribing and see you in the next one. Cheers!